based on no evidence, I'm saying Doof did the JFK assassination.
I think the bigger problem is how does the goldfish escape?
Hey, I know what we're gonna analyze. The episodes in season 5. Hope it brings you laughter. This is Afterferb.
I would like to begin by giving a very warm welcome to our 10 most loyal schmertzes in the chat. Incessant in the chat, constantly spamming emojis. Welcome back, everyone, to, I guess, what this isn't really the back half of the season, but it sort of is.
It feels
we're
like it.
We're Afterverbs again. Woo!
I mean, we took a little bit of a hiatus. Shout out Olivia for making a very special episode in the middle of our hiatus.
Yes, if you haven't listened to it already, please go listen to our special episode we did interviewing Olivia Olson about the writing of Phineas and Ferb Season 5. But if you don't count that episode, the last time we did a proper one of these was around the time episode 13 aired, which was like end of July, early August.
Was that Doof in retrograde?
Yeah, unfortunately.
And the less said about that, the better. Let's move on.
But we're back.
New part of the season. We're back.
Oh, I also want to give a quick shout out. Thank you to everybody, slightly more than 10 schmertzes actually, who attended our Comic-Con Phineas and Ferb Brigade panel at the LA Convention Center in September. You guys were the coolest. That panel was great.
That was a lot of fun, and shout out to Sarah for asking us to be a part of that. And for some of you that showed up and were fans of MWCA, it was very nice to meet you.
I'd also like to give a shout out to Christine, who was a fan that said they attended after seeing our YouTube community post about the panel and started talking to me after the panel. And I feel very guilty because I stopped talking to you mid-sentence because I saw Dan Povenmire walking away and I wanted to go get a picture with him. And I came back and you weren't there anymore. So Christine, I would have loved to talk to you more, and I'm very sorry about the timing of that. But thank you for coming. Anyway.
Yep. We're gonna start talking about Bend It Like Doof. I observed a few people who didn't know that this was this title was a reference to Bend It Like Beckham, and they were so confused. Like, what's being bent? I don't know what's happening. But anyway, it's a Bend It Like Beckham reference. And right in the very first minute, I was overwhelmed by all kinds of Love Muffin Alka dynamics and lore. Not to mention the implication that in this universe, there's some kind of live stream software through which whoever's live streaming can immediately force someone in the chat to, quote, go live. That blew my Beefy Mustache 55 is calling me a hack. That's it. You're going live. Doofenshmirtz clicks the button. Major Monogram has immediately joined the live stream, apparently against his will.
TikTok has a feature like that, because there's been at least one occasion where I was hosting a TikTok live on the MWCA channel and I had Zach join in.
Yes, but I requested to join in. I don't think you could just force somebody in the chat to be like, oh God, now I'm on camera.
Imagine if I could just force on your camera when you're pooping and...
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
What I want to say about this chat is they sort of make a joke about the fact that nobody is tuning in and there's only 10 people. But for there only being 10 people, there sure are a lot of comments in this live chat.
Oh yeah.
Including one that says simp, which Doof makes a joke about, and another that says ASL, which was a weirdly adult reference for
American Sign Language?
Age, sex, location.
Oh.
That's a thing that you remember the site Omegle? It was you would just hop online and talk to random strangers.
Yeah.
I don't know if it exists anymore, and kids definitely should not go on there, but it was a thing where you would join and people would immediately go ASL because they wanted to know if you were somebody they could be interested in.
Oh, that's true. When I hear ASL, I also immediately think of American Sign Language.
Well, it was S/L, so...
Okay.
The backslashes mean everything.
Maybe that was their plausible deniability that they could have been referencing American Sign Language if the Disney censors asked about it.
Yeah, and I also noticed that many of the comments were just emoji spam.
Which was probably done by Swampy.
Gotta be.
Must be. Mm-hmm. Who was in this episode quite a lot, might I add.
Oh, we'll get to that in a bit.
But before we move on from this scene, I feel like we gotta talk, because I brought my various Alka theories and Love Muffin theories to this podcast, and I feel like we got a lot more to work with in this one, because Monogram and Doofenshmirtz are debating over which organization helps the other one more, and Doofenshmirtz is basically saying my evil helps Alka exist, and Major Monogram retorts with "you'd be nothing without us," which is an insane thing to say.
Yeah, I gotta say, I agree with Doof here.
Monogram's incredibly in the wrong here.
We're not in the wrong as much as she's just wrong.
What's the difference?
Well, it's not like he's like, I feel like into the wrong refers to like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, you're making a mistake, whereas he's just like incorrect. Because without Alka, Dr. Doofenshmirtz would just, I don't know, be evil still, presumably.
He'd be evil, but we don't necessarily know that he would be successful because we've seen that
Is he
like
successful
Planty the
anyway?
Potted Plant will defeat it. He'll defeat himself if Perry's not there. The only event in which he wins is if he lost his choo-choo train as a child.
This is true.
So choo.
Did you say so chew?
Yeah.
Choo
Oh
choo.
man,
Chugga
that's very
chugga.
good. I don't love that they roped Carl into the shaving thing, though. I feel like there's got to be some sort of contractual thing.
I gotta say, every single episode in season 5, Monogram gets a little bit meaner toward Carl, and I don't know if I love it because he had that brief moment of connection at the end of More Than an Intern. In this one, Carl shows up to be the water boy, and Monogram literally just like physically pushes him over for no reason.
The divorce is really taking its toll on Monogram. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe eventually we'll have Monogram going to Dr. Shemai to talk about his divorce and take things out less on his unpaid intern.
Season 6, baby. Yeah. All right. I want to shout out Phineas
A
and
lot of
Ferb's
shout outs in
activity
this
today.
episode.
By shout out, I mean talk about, basically, is what I want to
It's
do.
kids being kids, and they're just
Yes.
throwing a stick at something. I love that.
I kind of like because season 1 of Phineas and Ferb was a lot of basically writer's room thing. All right, if the kids could dream as big as they could possibly dream, what would they want to do? A roller coaster, a circus, travel back in time, all these things. And now I like that you can only there's a finite amount of things that you can come up with in that stream. So I don't mind so much if the route they're taking is a switch towards, all right, what are the boring things that kids in real life often end up doing in the backyard, and how can Phineas and Ferb make it more fun?
Yeah, no, I loved that it was just them messing around. And yeah, they did eventually get Phineas and Ferb with it and make like big, unbelievable things. But there was a minute there where they were just perfectly entertained with the sticks.
Mm-hmm.
I like the moment of Isabella running with the pile of sticks, just going, more sticks. Like, kids get like that. They're weird.
Man, there's nothing like a good steak. I don't know if you've had this experience. I'm sure you've like been to the park, you found a steak, and you're just like, I gotta bring this home. I need this steak.
Yeah,
it's gotta be.
Every time I go hiking as a kid, the very first thing is, okay, what's the stick that I'm carrying with me while I'm hiking?
Yeah,
Like, the stick defines the experience.
Have you all seen that Instagram account that's like the stick reviews where people find sticks and then they talk about them?
I'm following this right now.
It became a big thing. Like, they just take submissions of people from all around the world being like, I found this stick in the woods. It's a good one.
Oh my God, yeah.
This one could be used as a
official
slingshot.
stick reviews. It has 3.4 million followers on social media.
I think it blew up when Lin-Manuel Miranda was one of the submissions that they got.
Hell yeah, good for them.
It's got to be some kind of like primal thing of like, I can use this as a weapon to kill the boar for my meal.
Yeah. Or I can use this as a microphone if I wedge a lemon through it.
Or I can... Oh, is that it? Like Dink. Okay, nice.
Yeah, think Dink, Zach.
I was going to say, like, when I was a kid, I would just pretend like I was an old man and I needed a walking stick to go up and be like, to make me feel wise. I was like 9. I don't know why I would do that. But great Dink reference. I'm really pleasantly surprised and also equally confused by the amount of Dink we've seen this season. But we'll focus on him a little bit later.
Yeah, let's jump ahead a little.
Back to the kids in the backyard.
Just regarding this backyard stick throwing activity, I know they make the joke about when they're aiming the sticks at things, how they hit a gigantic Hadron Collider, and they're like, has that always been there? And that's a fantastic joke. But I was more confused by the fact that their yard now suddenly has like a bend in it. Has that always been there?
Wait, pull up the
No.
screenshot.
I know what you're talking about, but that's new.
Yeah,
and they were just
like,
playing
it's like
with
you see Candace walk around the corner to take a look at what they're doing, and their yard has just got a completely different shape than it used to. Sorry, I'm playing this for Zach.
We are currently... Oh, yeah, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they changed it for this episode.
They
for
made
that
it
guy.
an L shape. Okay.
I mean, there's also episodes where they'll get rid of literally every surrounding house to make a giant beach, so I guess we shouldn't look into it that deeply. I also really like the where's Perry moment of this episode, because they just go, he's right over there. Okay. And just like move on.
That's one of my favorite Where's Perry's in the whole series.
It's a very good delivery from Vincent.
Immediately followed up by Major Monogram saying super loudly out to the universe, "Super Code Red Emergency, Agent P." But one thing that surprised me I was actually quite surprised that from the beginning Perry took this soccer game very seriously. Like when he gets called in and Monogram is like, the emergency is a soccer game, I was fully expecting some kind of like eye roll or like Jim Halpert look at the camera type thing from Perry. But no, he was just like, he was taking it completely seriously from the beginning, as all the other animals seemed to.
Yeah, no, it's surprising that there wasn't like a beat where there was like a music sting and Monogram going like, "What? It's really important." Like he just Perry's immediately on board with it.
Yeah. Well, it's also time he got to spend with the other Alka agents, which I feel like we don't see that often. We got a rare Perry smiling moment in this episode where they paused in the middle of the match to like take a photo together.
Aw.
All right, can we dive in? I want to talk a little bit about the Alka agents and the Love Muffin scientists.
I'm
on display
so
in this
okay.
episode.
The Love Muffin thing has got my gears grinding.
Yeah, I guess we'll start with Love Muffin. If you've been listening to Afterferb every episode, first of all, thank you. But secondly, you might remember in an early episode, we were not sure how much Jeremy Johnson was going to appear in this season, and we launched the hashtag JeremyWatch. And I think we were pleasantly surprised to learn that, no, Jeremy's in this season, like, often enough. Where is Alois von Rodenstein? We have not seen Rodney. I think we need to launch the hashtag RodneyWatch. Because, man, if there was ever an episode of Season 5 for Rodney to return, the one that focuses on Love Muffin having a soccer match, getting into beef with each other, this was the one to do it.
What confuses me is, we've talked at length on Afterferb about how the voice actor that played Rodney was a writer on the show who was no longer staffed on the show. Okay, fine, understandable that maybe he wouldn't have any dialogue. I'm just surprised that they didn't even animate him to be a silent character out of all the Love Muffin players. Like, he didn't need lines, but I guess Rodney is just no longer canonically a member of Love Muffin.
I mean, I would have loved for him to have lines. I feel like it would have been, because they had a nice moment here where they called back to the fact that Doof is bad at kicking things. And I was just like envisioning Rodney being there like, "Where'd you learn to kick, Hines?" Just like getting like arguing with each other over how badly they're really doing at Rodney. The game. Thank you. But yeah, he has not shown up since Phineas and Ferb Save Summer. I looked this up recently because I was curious what his last appearance was.
Neither has Obama.
Neither has Barack Obama.
Wow, I can't believe it's been exactly as long
since we've seen Barack Obama and Phineas and Ferb as we've seen. We'll talk more about presidents in the next segment, but there's
we will.
We will.
Okay.
But the last time we saw Rodney was I don't know if he's being arrested, but he's being picked up by Monty Monogram and walked out of frame. So presumably he's in custody of Monty. What do we think is going on with Rodney?
Alex?
Yeah, it's good to know I was not the only one who immediately, as soon as we see all the Love Muffin scientists on screen for the first time, I was like, all right, let me pause and try to find Rodney. And he wasn't there. That was my first reaction. So that was disappointing. And from that point, I was kind of like, because honestly, Rodney, by far and away, was my favorite Love Muffin, apart from Doof.
Well, he was like the one guy. Like,
he's the one. Yeah, he's gonna the one. So yeah, it is weird that he's got. And in terms of where he is, I guess the only explanation is, I don't know, he moved to a different tri-state area.
Do you think they have different like Love Muffins in different state areas?
Regional Love. As soon as we gotta wait for the Love Muffin National Congress, and then we're gonna see Rodney back again.
Well, they seem to waver back and forth on, because Peter the Panda is from Seattle. Oh yeah, and they have Calca, the Canadian division of Alka.
Oh yeah, Alex, tell us about that.
As the token Canadian.
Yeah.
Rodney's actually up here now.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That would actually be a good. I would forgive the absence of Rodney if in a later episode
I'm in Canada.
They go back to Canada and Rodney's there. Anyway, yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer for me. I feel like that would have elevated this episode a little bit. On a slightly tangential topic, I want to quickly talk about some of the Alka agents we saw in this episode, because here we saw the return of Terry the Turtle, first appearance since the Alka Files. This is according to Jonathan, second dimension Baljeet's pet is also Terry the Turtle, which is weirdly specific, but it was cool to see him back. Also, I found it interesting that the one time they name drop Agent B during this soccer match, they're referring to Agent Butterfly. And I went, wait, isn't this the episode where they also featured a beaver, and a bear in the same match. And then I looked it up on the wiki. Agent B can now refer to bear, bulldog, beaver, butterfly, or if you take MWCA, which is not canon, bird or bat. So that's got to get confusing. The last thing I have to say about the Alka agents is we saw this fish agent.
It was giving Megamind.
Yeah, because it's a fish wielding this robotic suit to play soccer. And I was like, have we seen this character before? Surely we have. I looked it up on the wiki. The only time we've seen a fish agent before was a koi fish from Perry's Lair entrance in Attack of the 50-Foot Sister, which inadvertently ends up in Perry's Lair, and the monogram's like, oh, to avoid lawsuits, we'll just hire them. But this was a goldfish. This is a different fish we've never seen before.
My qualm with the Alka agents, and I don't know if we've talked about this on this podcast, is that Alka works because the animals have a front as their pet.
Yeah.
Who in the tri-state area has a pet bear, a pet elephant, and a pet whale that's not in water but somehow miraculously surviving? How does that work with their cover story?
I think the bigger problem is, how does the goldfish escape every day undetected?
Well, to be
In the
fair,
bowl.
I feel like if you're not home, a goldfish could easily just leave the bowl and you wouldn't notice.
Okay, I guess. But then, anyway, whatever. We got to talk about Dink Winkerson now.
We gotta talk about Dink Winkerson.
Okay, so, or actually, maybe, or should we wait till we talk about Dooflicated, because he's in that one too, and kind of talk about it all together. But basically, in this episode, what we see so far is he's been in and out of prison multiple times. He's in his prison garb, and he is compulsively reporting on the soccer game, which is coincidentally the first thing he sees. So Dink Winkerson appears to have gone crazy.
Here's my theory, because his appearances this season, I looked this up. Dry Another Day, he's just doing his regular reporter shtick. Tropey McTropeface, he gets arrested for being the mother mugger. And then he appears briefly in Meet Me in St. Louis, like just doing his reporting bit again. And I initially was like, oh, that's weird. Did the production order get mixed up with the airing order? But we learned from Olivia that that's not the case. They've been airing in the order they produced them. So I think that the writers forgot that Dink Winkerson got arrested when they made Meet Me in St. Louis. And then when they did this episode, they just kind of addressed that by giving him this throwaway line of dialogue where he's like, I've been in and out of prison more times than I can count. And now that's the joke they're running with.
I just remember watching this episode and going, what? Dink's back? That's the weirdest character they could have brought back for this. And then 30 seconds later, they're like, the referee is Clipaloon, the magical old-timey bathing suit that lives in the Himalayas. And I'm like, sure, okay, that's just what we're doing with this episode.
Yeah, if you asked me to predict what Phineas and Ferb character would be returning in the Love Muffin episode, I wouldn't predict Terry the Turtle, Dink Winkerson, Klimpaloon, and Brittany from
More than
an intern before Rodney. Yeah, I gotta say, I feel like Klimpaloon works best when you don't reference him that much. I don't really know what he was doing in this episode.
He was reffing.
I got that.
Oh.
And I guess the joke was that he kind of looks like a referee costume, but...
Oh, I didn't even think of that. I was just, yeah. Okay, I guess that makes a little more sense, actually.
Except, no. Because I work as a referee for high school improv, which is a very
I've seen
funny
your
sentence.
outfit.
And my outfit has vertical stripes, whereas Klimpaloon has horizontal stripes. So that's my gripe.
Yeah. Also, did he just leave the Candace suit in the Himalayas?
No,
That's what I was mainly thinking. That's what I was mainly thinking is like I thought we had left Klimpaloon off with the Candace suit, almost like happy ever after. We might never see these characters ever again. That's what I thought we were going for.
Is he not allowed to take a business trip? Or allowed to, like, visit people?
Zach is
Nope,
pro
not allowed.
Because he's
Klimpaloon.
confined to a relationship?
Yeah.
Did you have any thoughts on our guest stars, Cristo Fernandez and Megan Rapinoe?
My thought was,
Rapinoe?
when they appeared on screen, I was like, I'm 90% sure these are real soccer players based on the way they're designed and the way they're voice acting.
Oh, no. So Megan Rapinoe is. Cristo Fernandez is not. He plays a soccer player on Ted Lasso, and that's the joke.
But he did actually play soccer at a pretty high level.
Oh, did
before
he?
becoming an actor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He had my favorite line in the whole episode, though.
Which one was that?
Which was where he's flopping and he's being carried off and he's like, I have representation and can also do comedy. That's such a great line.
Yeah. I know the only thing I know Cristo Fernandez from is Sonic the Hedgehog 3, where he appears on an in-universe Mexican soap opera, which is the most ridiculous sequence in the movie. So I was glad to see him.
I gotta say, with Phineas and Ferb's plan to move the city 80 inches to the left so that Buford... Was it 80 or was it less than that?
I think it was 8.
8.
8. Yeah, that makes way more sense. Move the city 8 inches to the left so that Buford could hit the target. Had the vibe of a Doof scheme, actually, to me. It was like, oh, I can't hit the target. I'll just, instead of moving the target, I'll just move the entire city. Which I don't think was intentionally foreshadowing the following episode. But that just kind of, it felt like that style of Phineas and Ferb wanting to make something more complicated than it has to be, just to kind of fulfill their, we want to do something big and cool.
And while it was big and cool and a very good punchline, Candace ran into a wall.
Which some would say she does every day.
Well, nice. And the soccer ball, didn't make the net. How many other injuries in the tri-state area do you think Phineas and Ferb caused with this? And are they liable?
55.
55? So
You heard it here first.
Are they legally liable for those injuries and medical bills?
Yep.
I feel like you could do so many side stories here, like B story or like Isabel and the Temple of Sap, where it all just comes down to things being moved 8 inches to left at a very specific moment.
One of our guests, and later in the episode,
we might not have a guest.
Spoiler.
Surprise. We're gonna have a guest.
They said, I'm not gonna say who it is, but it said not a single building should be standing. Anything above like 10 stories just falls. Like, yeah, what about like the structural integrity of Danville? Like, I think Phineas and Ferb caused a massive, catastrophe.
It could have prevented or caused an assassination. But we'll talk more about that in the next episode.
Yeah.
You think Andrew's doing a non sequitur, but he's being 100% genuine.
The last thing I kind of want to say about this episode, I feel like, and this has kind of been a running theme, but we've really gotten to the point where there's a there's an extreme dissonance between how unserious this Alka Love Muffin rivalry is and how imperative it is that Perry remains undercover. Like, they're just they're playing around, they're just having fun, it's just a soccer game, no one really seems to care about anything, it's very loosey-goosey, and yet Perry absolutely must remain undercover. It almost feels like it's only the case because that's the way we've always done it. I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like that there've been a lot of references to Alka's not that serious, Alka's not that important. If by the end of season 6 we almost get to Perry, you can tell them your secret, whatever, it's not a big deal.
I don't know if we'll get to that point.
I don't think they would do it.
My guess is that, they have the lair entrances, and I think in other episodes it's implied they have cameras. Like, I don't think they would do the soccer match unless they have confirmation that the agents' families have different plans that day that don't require them going to the public park.
Yeah. I could see them eventually altering the status quo for the theoretical future of the series. Like, if they were like, oh, in the Act Your Age era, like, yeah, by then they know Perry's a agent. But, and I guess we'll get more into this when we talk about Dooficated. I feel like there are certain status quo interruptions that they're still a little bit hesitant to cross regarding Perry. So I think it's a cool thought, but
it would have been kind of funny to have the whole episode happen, and then at the end, Monogram be like, yeah, thank you for agreeing to play soccer in this undercover building, and then zoom out to reveal that what they thought was an outside soccer field was just in a warehouse.
Yeah.
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
Come on, writers.
Oh, before we wrap this up also, I don't necessarily have too many thoughts on it, but we have to talk about Monogram. Pissed swole Monogram.
This is the second instance of swole Monogram this season.
Yeah, Monogram is jacked.
This is more than swole Monogram. This is animalistic Monogram.
He was reverting. I guess in a way that kind of makes sense why he's good at commanding animals, because he has those animalistic tendencies inside of him.
That's true.
But yeah, that was upsetting. I liked it. I thought it was funny. It was just also upsetting. I also like that they gave him arm hair. That feels fitting for some reason.
Well, yeah, he's an old guy. Every old guy has arm hair.
Yeah, but okay, he may be old in that he has white hair, but he's certainly not physically like. I now think Monogram could probably like physically beat up any character in this series.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to think if there's a character that Monogram couldn't beat up.
I mean, maybe not like Perry, but
Planty the Potted Plant. Monogram has no shot.
Yeah, I can see they'll have like I feel like Andrew, you being someone who in general wants Monogram to be good, would be kind of upset by this development.
I mean, I don't know. I thought it was fun. I feel like if there was a moment for Monogram to randomly snap like this, it being egged on by Heinz felt fitting. So I had fun with it.
Yeah. All right. But, sure, the three of us have shared our thoughts. But wouldn't it be great if we brought a couple other people into our discussion and maybe heard their thoughts on this whole thing?
Dang,
What would the implications of bringing in 2 additional guests be?
I don't know, but maybe we're going to find out.
Hey, I know what we're gonna herb.
Dink Winkerson here, straight out of white collar prison. I'm the man on the street telling you what is and what isn't. And what is here is not one, but 2 guests at the same time. Originally 100% from Australia, now 50% in Italy.
He's still Australian. I'm still claiming him.
The creators of Implications of Phineas and Ferb. Our very first duo, Joe and Lachlan.
Hello, how you doing? Let's go.
It is so good to be here.
Yes, I love being on this podcast. These guys are so good. I love it.
Well, you guys had a Phineas and Ferb podcast that vastly predates Afterferb. And back in 2021, when we were making MWCA, you had some of us on as guests.
Yeah.
And it was a great time. And I think we talked about Summer Belongs to You and eventually MWCA itself. Now it's 4 years later. And we're like talking again. How are you guys doing?
4 years is insane.
Well, we haven't been doing the podcast, so that's not been good on our end. But we hope to bring it back with this new season. We have been saying that for like the last
We got distracted.
month. Yeah, life and university and learning and not having COVID where I'm sitting at home with nothing to do. So yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, much like you
been
guys
pretty
with
slow on that.
MWCA being a COVID project. Our COVID project was reviewing Phineas and Ferb, and then we found this amazing musical on TikTok that was making extra Phineas and Ferb, and at the time we were absolutely starved for Phineas and Ferb content. So,
And now we
Yeah,
can
now
finally
we've got
stop
it.
doing that because we're getting plenty of Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, we've got a lot of really good Phineas and Ferb as well. I am so happy with this new season. It is phenomenal.
Joe actually had his favorite episode usurped.
Oh,
Yes.
what's your new
Oh
favorite?
yeah, so I'm curious because when I reached out to you guys to do this episode, neither one of you had started season 5 yet.
No, not at all.
So tell me about jumping back in. What each of your experiences has been.
Well, we watched the episode that we're reviewing today, which surprised me. It wasn't on Disney Plus. You guys are like 4 episodes ahead somehow. I don't know.
It's not on our Disney Plus either. It's been airing on the channel, and we're finding it from sources.
Yeah. Okay.
Legal sources.
Obviously.
That's wild. I thought they would try and keep that updated, but anyway, yeah. So I've been watching some of the previous episodes because I was like, bugger it, we've finally ticked that box. We were saving it for the podcast, but whatever. I'm gonna actually watch the show I enjoy and love desperately. And Tropey McTropeface, what the hell? That episode is so good. It is so
Yes!
wild. It's so different to what they normally do with Phineas and Ferb. And usually I'm massive for the stick to the tropes, do what you do right. But they were like, nah, throwing that all out the window for a wild Zelotrope story that does just, it sees God. It sees God. God is a Zelotrope. What the hell? What the hell? The dinosaurs get extinct twice. I adore that episode. It is just wild and just going left, right, and center. It's so good.
I feel like that episode has been a pretty polarizing episode between the communities. But no one has like a neutral opinion on it. People either are like,
Yeah.
I love that episode, or that episode really didn't work for me.
I
So-
will say it's grown on me. I was maybe slightly negative. I think rewatching it, I definitely see
I
the
love
appeal
that
more.
one. Well, also Olivia said that was one of her favorites to work on. So
Yeah, so I have to love it.
It's just so
Exactly.
different.
You get dunked on. Like, you're not gonna. What are you gonna do? Tell Olivia Olsen she's wrong?
Yeah. Actually, I think you're wrong. I think she's right.
Yeah.
I think you got to reconsider it.
So did the two of you start watching Phineas and Ferb like as kids from the time the show started airing, or did you not get into it till a little later on?
Yeah, that's something we've discussed on our podcast, so go listen to it. But
Yes, do it.
basically, I was free to air man in Australia, so I didn't really have access to Phineas and Ferb. So whenever I went to like a mate's place who could pay for Disney Channel, or there was like a hotel or something, I'd have a chance to watch it. And I always really liked it, but I never really got a chance to watch it all. And so the podcast was great because I was like, this show is actually really good. And now I have an excuse to keep watching it without, I love it.
And we just got so obsessed with it over the COVID break. Like we were just watching the entire thing, and it was such a blast. It's such a good show, and it's so timeless.
Mm-hmm.
And they have so much like adult like references and jokes and stuff that it's obviously built by two like adults who know what they're doing and having fun. And there's obviously a lot of the kid aspect, but there's some really good and crazy things to think about if you take it seriously, which is the whole point about it.
There was one very adult reference, which we'll talk about a little bit later. My God.
Next episode. I want to go back to the hands. You guys were like, oh, we just moved 8 inches. Oh,
Yeah, please do.
You know, that's not that big of a deal. You know, it was like,
Yeah, sorry, we've got to cover a little bit of notes from this episode.
yeah, I was like, in less than 1 second, I counted the frames. It was 22 frames. They moved the entire of Danville, we assume. It could have been more. 8 inches. Do you know how much damage that does to the tectonic plates? Fucking America shouldn't be alive. Like, you can just see visually on a map. It shrinks.
I did some research, and the movement of a tectonic plate by 8 inches is enough to cause a magnitude 8.5 earthquake. So the fact that there is any Danville left is truly a miracle, because I don't believe that Central America is designed for like magnitude 8+ earthquakes, considering it's not on a fault line.
It's wild that
Yeah,
between these two episodes, Phineas and Ferb arguably caused more damage in the one where they weren't turned evil.
Yeah, literally. And it's like the funny little joke where she's like, oh, giant hands. I guess they've done something today. And we're like, no, these
that
hands are about to ruin your entire city. And you have no idea what's going to happen. And I'm so
Those
sad we
hands
don't
are
get
pulling
to see
Have
it.
you ever seen
Sorry.
Have you ever seen Mickey Mouse Clubhouse?
I have.
I have not.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot when I was like 5 years old, but it's like, it's got, this is a building with those hands that like reach around and help everyone. The helping hands, I think they call them. It looked a lot like those hands that moved the city 8 inches, which made me just think of the idea of like the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse helping hands, just like ruining people's days and wreaking havoc.
The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse could destroy the world, but it chooses not to because Mickey Mouse controls it or something like that.
When we got to visit Disney TV Animation, we learned that the production studio for Mickey Mouse, I think it's Funhouse now, is like directly across from Phineas and Ferb. So there may have been some shared overlap there.
I do love the overlap.
Like they have the same break
Andrew,
area.
that was the most casual flex I've ever heard in my life.
Oh yeah, we got to go to the studio a year ago.
We have a framed picture of all of us in the studio in our apartment, and it's one of the most wholesome things we have here.
You bastards.
Yeah, when you guys travel to LA, we'll get you in.
Oh, fantastic.
That's me talking to Joe Lachlan, not the listener.
Yeah, we cannot guarantee the listener.
See, on our podcast, Implications of Phineas and Ferb, we do have personal and intimate parasocial relationships with all our listeners. So that is an invitation to all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. We can back that
If
up.
they come to Australia anytime, we'll hang out.
Exactly. Great.
Y'all seem like the perfect people to have on this podcast because, like us, you take it very seriously. And even you already had something to say about the episode that you aren't covering. Like, we know we're going to have y'all talk about Dooflicated, but I loved hearing, about Bend It Like Doof.
The Bend of It Like Doof. I also have one tiny little note from Bend It Like Doof. I don't know if you noticed, but in the very start with when Doof is streaming, there's the Ben 10 OmniWatch noise.
Oh, really?
This is a crossover. Yeah, you should, I'd suggest even rewatching it now, but almost immediately when he starts the stream up, it's distinctly the Ben 10 Omniverse, like Ben 10 turning on the Omnitrix noise.
We're back, my loyal schmerzies.
And it's like, what is it doing here?
It's
And
the
I love
startup sound of the Omnitrix when you press the green button and it pops up.
That is fascinating. I have the vaguest memory of when we talked about MWCA with you guys. You mentioned that there was like a Simpsons reference in My Musical, and I was like, there is? Because like one of the houses just like looked like the Simpsons house that I had like pulled from some random like PNG on the internet. So I think you guys are the kings at finding inadvertent or possibly advertent references to completely unrelated cartoons within Phineas and Ferb.
We're trying to build a cinematic universe.
So, Dooflicated. Now, I'm going to kick this one off. This was the episode that we got a little bit of a sneak peek of. We got that 1-minute clip. So we knew a little bit of what was coming, and a lot of people were very, very excited about it, including me. I've got to say, I think as far as 11-minute episodes go, Dooflicated is up there with the best of the best. I think,
Wow.
the S tier is like Flop Stars, Thaddeus and Thor, Lawn Gnome Beach Party of Terror. I think Dooflicated is kind of just a notch below that tier.
Really?
Wow.
It was
Yeah, I wouldn't put that high, but
phenomenal.
damn.
I loved it so much. Among the best of the season. So
I'd
that's
give it an A, but not an S. I mean, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong.
So this was another Martin and Olivia episode, which I will just say across the board, everyone they've written, I would say has been at the very least very solid, a good time. I kind of feel like this one, yes, it was extremely fun, but of all of the moments where we've been like, this 11-minute should have been a 22-minute, I feel it the most strongly with this one. I feel like they had so much more potential with like, I mean, Kian, when he was on our podcast, talked about the possibility of like, is this an episode where Perry has to bust Phineas and Ferb, has to thwart them?
Yeah.
That's such a good conceit.
And I could see the setup for that occurring in this episode, and it didn't quite get there.
We could have seen Phineas and Ferb do like a Doofenshmirtz style Broadway musical style song,
Something like
about their neighbor or something.
It would have been sick to have it like the full role reversal. So like the first 11 minutes is Doof setting up the Doofinator, and then the next is Doof doing what Phineas and Ferb do for some strange reason, and then Perry having to thwart Phineas and Ferb.
Ooh,
but then
that's fun.
Yeah,
Kind of like Hell
that would be
Doofania.
fun, but
Yeah.
it does ruin a lot of the tropes, like Phineas and Ferb never knowing about Perry the Platypus and stuff like that, which I don't think the lines they can't cross, which is understandable.
Oh, yeah. Our roommate Ben thought that they were going to do a joke in this episode where Perry would appear.
in a hat and they wouldn't recognize him.
Yes, Perry would show up in a fedora and
Yeah.
they'd be like, "Who is this guy?" And then he would like remove the hat and they'd be like, "Oh, it's Perry."
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to
Um,
see that. That
that's
would be so
cool.
good.
Which they got their memory wiped, so that would have been fine. But-
Alex, I am curious, just like what is it about this episode that makes you think that it's like S tier, elite, like top of all time?
Yeah, okay. So, Andrew, I see where you're coming from. Like, oh, there's more like 22-minute potential. I think the fact that they don't go the Perry thwarting route still works for me because they wanted it to be Candace. They wanted Candace to be playing the Perry role, and I feel like you can't really do both. I feel like you
Sure.
kind of have to pick one or the other. And I also feel like even if Perry knew, oh no, Phineas and Ferb have Dr. Doofenshmirtz's personality, and I think this is another thing the episode emphasizes at the end, part of Doofenshmirtz's personality is ultimately failing no matter what. So I think part of the reason Perry thwarts Doofenshmirtz is because he like gets a bit of a kick out of it. If he sees Phineas and Ferb kind of, doing the same thing, he's like, he's not going to really step it. He'll leave them to it. He knows, they'll take care of themselves. That's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
why that didn't bother me.
I kind of disagree with that Doofenshmirtz's personality is inherently failing. I mean, yes, it is, but I feel like what was interesting about this episode was that when Phineas and Ferb get Doofenshmirtz's personality, it kind of shows what could happen if Doof was competent. So, like, even though they
Yeah.
got the desire for evil, they still didn't lose their ability to, like, actually get things done.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I saw that Phineas and Ferb were like suddenly imbued with the motivation to do evil by Doofenshmirtz, my first response wasn't laughing, but like sort of blood-curdling fear.
Yeah.
The dread of
Because
like, that.
Doofenshmirtz is held back by his incompetence. And what exactly is he going to be able to do when he's got the godly powers of Phineas and Ferb to reshape the universe as they wish,
Yeah.
Yeah, because Phineas and Ferb, they leveled up. They were like tri-state area for sure, and then they went straight to the world. Doof's never
Yes.
made that jump. Doof was evil, but he's never gone to the world.
That's the exact thing that I was going to say, Joe. It seemed like a combination of the fact that they inherited Doof's evil, but like combined with Phineas's ambition, like it was bigger than Doofenshmirtz. And that
Yeah.
I agree, that was like scary.
And they could do it. They could 100% do it.
But then I feel like the reason, like, I understand what you're saying, and I was kind of thinking maybe they'll go that route in the promo, but the fact that they include the self-destruct buttons on the innators, I think shows that they were going for, because Doofenshmirtz, when you think about it, he's also a mastermind at creating things that work immediately in the same way that Phineas and Ferb is, right?
Yeah,
But
Nate is always did the job.
he's clumsy and unable to carry the plan through to the end because of things like the self-destruct button. So that's part of what Phineas and the gang are like inheriting, which is why I was like, oh, it's a bunch of Doofenshmirtzes. If one Doofenshmirtz can't take over the tri-state area, 5 can't take it over either,
I actually, Doof did something in this episode that I felt like was actually very competent, and I don't know if we've seen it. Usually when Perry is trapped, it's like he'll press a button and something will, like arms or come out to trap him. But Doofenshmirtz just like lassoed that guy up. Like, I was like, oh, okay, we got to see Doofenshmirtz be hands-on, and he did a pretty good job with it.
He smashed it. He just, in a 1v1, took Perry away, just like wrapped him up. I was like, what? That's crazy.
All right, so while we're talking about Doofenshmirtz being in this park, Joe and Lachlan, you guys want to talk about this reference that was made in this episode?
You know what reference we're about to say. They referenced the fucking JFK assassination.
It is,
and
just
not just
wild.
the JFK assassination, but conspiracy theories about the JFK assassination. Did
We should
Doofenshmirtz kill
explain-
JFK?
Well, he walks into the park and he sees a grassy knoll. All right, that happens. That's normal. And a book depository. Separately, that's not a problem. Together, that can't be a coincidence that they aren't referring to the JFK assassination, which is crazy.
Yeah.
He's looking for the best angle to shoot a politician.
Yeah,
Can I
in
just-
an American show? What?
Really quickly, every time we do an episode of Afterferb, Andrew has several tabs open of like the transcript, the wiki, the episode. And for this one, it's like the transcript, the wiki, the episode, and a Wikipedia article on the JFK assassination.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I had to look up the significance of the grassy knoll and the Texas School Book Depository, because I was watching this episode with Julia, and she caught the reference and was like, is Doofenshmirtz going to shoot Roger? And then I had to like refresh myself on the history of JFK. So the grassy knoll was where the car was passing when he got shot, and then the killer, Lee Harvey Oswald, everyone
Supposedly.
Apparently.
Who do you think
Well,
shot
everyone's
JFK?
conspiracy. Sorry.
He was in the Texas School Book Depository with the gun.
Yeah.
Everyone's conspiracy theory is that there was another shooter who was on the grassy knoll because the whole book depository was too far away thing. Like, there's no way you could have shot it from that far away. He did, but, you know. And they always say that there was a killer on the grassy knoll, and there's photographs of him, and that he was a time traveler or whatever because he was wearing different clothes, and there's a rabbit hole you can go down.
But what is this doing in my Phineas and Ferb episode?
Wait,
love
time
it.
out.
I think it's
Time out.
great.
Did they say that someone at the grassy knoll was a time traveler? Because Doofenshmirtz is Professor Time in
Wait.
Milo Murphy's Law.
That's so true.
Oh my god.
That is true.
The dots are
You know,
being
it is kind of
connected.
crazy that when JFK was shot, the bullet bounced off his teeth and then hit the guy selling hot dogs.
I love that part of the actual story. Yeah, no, I don't know a lot about American history, but I'm fairly certain the first shot missed.
Yeah, you can
That's
take it from me as
sophisticated.
someone who lives outside of the United States. That what I just said is true.
Oh,
This
perfect.
is probably the first episode of Afterferb where a majority of the people in the call are not American.
That's so true.
Yeah.
We've won.
Let's keep
Taking
it
over,
away.
guys.
We're taking over.
All right, I'm going to start talking about other things now. Okay, so
That's a good idea.
there were a few things about how the other characters were mimicking Doof that I didn't fully pick up on the first time I watched it, and only the second time, including all the puns. Baljeet saying, "Are you a fan of my fan?" Isabella saying, "You're on a roll." All these Doof style, the
Silly
Doofisms.
puns.
But we also got pretty much just a greatest hits of Doof catchphrases delivered
Yes.
in extremely fresh and fun ways. Candace the sister was said multiple times this episode, and it made me laugh every single time.
I love when Candace
They
is like,
all-
stop calling me that.
Yeah.
They also did Candace the girlfriend and Candace the daughter, which were
Yes.
excellent. I love it. Instead of like Candace the
But my
human-
favorite, I gotta say, and we haven't seen this type of Doof catchers in a long time, but by predictable, I mean completely dictable. That was my, I think, favorite moment, because what the line that would make sense there is how unpredictable, and by unpredictable I mean completely predictable. Then when you start with predictable, and then it shorts. I actually looked it up, and dictable is not a word. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, dictable's not a word.
I thought like, oh, maybe dictable means like, oh, it's able to be dictated, but apparently it's not even a real word.
I will say, like, out of all the voice actors, like, everybody did a great job with the Doof impression
They're having a
with
lot
their
of fun with
voice.
it.
I think Vincent in particular really has the cadence of Doof down.
He
better
was
than anybody
hamming it up.
else.
He was having a great time.
Caroline Rhee as Linda as Doof was phenomenal. She blew
I
me
agree.
away. That was my favorite. Apart from Vincent, probably because he had more to do. But I wish they gave Linda more Doof stuff because she nailed it.
Yeah, I felt like Phineas was holding that back. He had that prepared for Yonks. He's been doing it for fun with his friends. Like during when he gets drunk, he gets that accent out, and then finally he got to do it on camera.
When the
for an actual
11-year-old
Phineas and Ferb
Phineas
episode.
gets drunk. What's
What's
the drinking age in Australia?
Like 10.
Pretty close.
Yeah, it's about 10, I think. Yeah,
Close enough.
it's a bit hazy for me because we started drinking, so
Of course.
I can't exactly say. Yeah.
yeah, around there.
Can I talk? I want to bring up quickly the music in this episode because I think between the pair of episodes, this one definitely stood out more. Aside from the songs themselves, first of all, we saw it in the clip, but when the kids become evil, it plays the Quirky Worky song, but in like a almost like Star Wars Empire-esque like minor key version of it.
Oh,
I loved that.
That was a highlight.
I also
I rewind
really liked
it like 3 times. I
It's
had
so
to keep
good.
listening to
I
that.
want a
was like,
soundtrack version of that.
a full version, yeah. I
But-
want a whole minute.
Both of the full songs in this episode, I also really like. First of all, wild that both of these episodes had 2 songs each.
Oh yeah,
Double song.
Right.
The first one we got here, Fistful of Flowers. I looked it up. Beverly Staunton was doing it, which seems to be their new kind of like default female vocalist for the series. I loved the contrast between just like the happy feel good vibes while they're like destroying things. And I really liked how that one sounded. And then the second song, We're Taking Over, initially kind of just sounded like sort of a more generic Phineas and Ferb, like they're singing and narrating what's happening. The part that elevated that song for me immensely was Dink Winkerson rapping in the middle. Why is there so much Dink in this series?
Yeah, who is this guy? Why is he's a new character and they've come out with him,
No.
and they're like,
No,
"We
he's not a
need
new
quick
character.
He's not new? Where was he?
He was in
from?
like 3 episodes in the first 4 seasons or something like that, and now he's constantly in season
What?
5.
Yeah. Our friend Jonathan's
not know
theory
that.
is that through creating Hamster and Gretel, Dan and the crew got so used to using a news anchor as a character and having fun with that they're leaning more into it now with Dink Winkerson and the new Phineas and Ferb. But he's like almost on the same tier of character as like Stacy or like he has more lines than Norm.
He's bigger than Jeremy.
Yeah, he's more
and
lines
Norm.
than a lot of the characters. He's basically a secondary character at this point.
And he's extremely
Yeah,
fun.
he gets his own plots as well. Like he was mugging MILFs and then running around with their umbrellas.
the
and
MILF mugger.
then he gets arrested and it is like he's got this whole side story of breaking out of prison. I'd love to see the spin-off series, a mini series of just him getting out of prison somehow, constantly. These escape attempts from Dink, who doesn't seem to have any attributes apart from being quite a good news reporter.
Orange is the new Dink.
Orange is the new team.
We actually got a tweet. Somebody mentioned us on Twitter at Intune Tommy. They said someone should make a video about the hypothetical prison sentence of Dink Winkerson if he was able to be released within the span of 3 months despite escaping prison and committing multiple counts of simple theft. And then at Super J104 tagged us saying they're definitely going to talk about this on Afterferb.
So true.
I don't know how much there is to theorize about this. I guess he's just really good at escaping prison.
So the real problem is that his crime does not, like, his biggest crime was escaping the prison. If he just sat there for a month, 6 months, like it was simple theft, it wasn't that crazy, he would have been out of prison easily and never gone back in. But because he keeps escaping, they keep putting him back in and he keeps extending his jury for it.
It's the Jean Valjean principle. I mean, Javert in Les Mis says 5 years for what you did and the rest because you tried to run. So Winkerson keeps trying to escape and they keep adding on to his sentence.
I think we need a version of Les Mis where Dink Winkerson is the main character.
Yes, put it in the miniseries. Put it in the miniseries.
We'll call it Less Miserable because it's not quite as miserable as the original.
Oh, less miserable.
Less miserable.
That's stupid.
I liked it, Alex.
Thank you.
I also don't think you go to prison for stealing 6 umbrellas. Like, you might if you had a really bad lawyer.
I feel like at best that's a misdemeanor.
Well, it's interesting because he says in his rap that he escaped from white collar prison. Is that even considered a white collar crime? I thought white collar crime was something like tax evasion.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why he was in white collar. Maybe he did other crimes on the side.
I'm
in
looking-
we haven't
between
seen.
these
I'm
2
looking-
episodes.
Maybe the umbrellas were really expensive.
Yeah, but even then, that's normal crime. It's not white collar crime. I think he must have every time he breaks out done tax fraud or embezzled money or done insider trading. Probably all three.
He hasn't done a bit.
We've never seen Dink pay his taxes in the entire run of Phineas and Ferb.
Oh, well, I just
Exactly.
figured it out. Apparently, most white-collar defendants are placed in minimum security prison camps. So that is the reason why he's able to easily escape, because there's, like, no security there.
So, like, not where they would put Lee Harvey Oswald.
No.
But the first time he went to prison, he didn't go to white collar prison. He went to normal prison, and then
Oh.
they were like,
He got downgraded.
Apparently, the longest sentence for a white-collar crime is 845 years. I don't know. I'm just on Google right now, just having
Oh
a
my
grand old
God.
time looking up
How
white-collar
much
prison.
money did they steal?
At what point do you start considering a sentence redundant?
Yeah. Well, it's to life, right?
I am.
840 years?
Last thing I want to say about this "We're Taking Over" song is the main hook and the chorus, they keep rhyming. I don't mean to scare ya, but we're taking over the tri-state area. If I had a nickel every time a Phineas and Ferb song rhymed scare ya with take over the tri-state area, I'd have 2 nickels, because they did that in We're Back just 5 years ago.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
He
I
said
think
that
it's hard
thing.
to rhyme. Oh, actually, no, area is not too bad. But
Area is not a hard word to rhyme.
Could rhyme it with varia, which is Latin for and everything else.
Wow.
Well, now I'm trying to think. Oh, Daria.
Area,
can't bear ya.
Daria, Bale.
Huh.
Anything that says ya will basically get you there.
With an air and a yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, you just did it.
Comment below what your favorite area rhyme is.
Or your JFK assassination theories. We'll take all of it.
Yeah, it's actually, we want the assassination theories. You guys can have the area rhymes, all right?
All right. I want to talk a little bit about Vanessa because she plays a relatively significant role in this episode. Where, okay, first of all, she's applying to colleges, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
I thought that she was Jeremy's age, a year older than Candace, which would have put her, you would think, already heading into college this fall. But whatever, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, we also see in this continued trend of Vanessa being nicer to Hines, Vanessa kind of goes out of her way to invite Hines to watch Roger's speech with her at the park. Like, hey, come with me. It'll be fun. And of course, at the end, we
That's
get, and I think this line is probably going to come back if Olivia Olson's hints that she's dropped are any indication. When Candace is talking to Vanessa about innators and evil, and Vanessa says, I don't usually like to get involved with this stuff.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was a really interesting moment because it was very close. They were right against that edge of Candace just fully learning who Dr. Doofenshmirtz is, which can kind of break the show if she fully grasps it. They like stop just short of being like, yeah, this is my dad doing this, and more just Vanessa being like, oh, I know what an innator is.
This episode also is another soft confirmation that Doofenshmirtz is the mysterious force, because when Candace is like, mysterious force, I need you now more than ever, and then Doofenshmirtz himself falls on the seesaw right in front of her. I like it whenever they acknowledge that
My theory currently is that Doof isn't the mysterious force. I think there's a mysterious force pushing Doof to be these things. Like, he didn't design to fall on the seesaw. Whenever his innators go off, it is incidental, like it's accidents, and it always happens to hit their backyard. I like the idea of this mysterious force. Candace is like developing nearly a religious idea around this like force that works every single day. Every single day, the things disappear. Her mum will never see it. And I love how in this new season, they're playing with that, and they are getting really close to the line of someone or anyone like figuring it out. I don't think they'll cross it. I 100% they will not cross it. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I
Which
think
is
if they
good.
were
I've
to
only
cross
seen one other episode of season 5, but based on
yeah.
speculation, surely it's the giant wheel god, right?
It has to be.
There's only one other omniscient presence in this entire universe, and it's the giant wheel god.
And he just loves to see Candace go absolutely crazy every single
which
day.
makes sense because their life does go in a circle over and over again. So
Yeah.
Wheel
Oh,
God
that was
would
brilliant.
actually... We're onto something here.
Yeah, we figured it out. We know canonically who is God in Phineas and Ferb.
That is actually a pretty sound theory.
And the wheel messiah killed JFK.
Yeah, sure.
I hope no one's offended by this. This happened 60 years ago.
60 years. Oh, Doof's probably not that old. And he wasn't
travel,
in
baby.
America during his...
Yeah.
It's the
true
fact
time.
that he's
What am I
Professor
talking about?
Time.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
can do
he can
anything.
time travel.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't have like a little picture of Doof behind the tree or something on the grassy knoll. Just his like little faces, Professor Time.
No, actually,
With
we would
these-
just
like a
see the
little
two
reference.
Candaces from the future hiding behind the bush.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was Candace. She did it.
But no, I like that. I like that it also ends with another sweet Doof and Vanessa moment. Like, I know it's kind of a tired trope of being like, "What? You read this? I meant that," and then at the end there's a hug. But I like that Vanessa admitted to like, "Yeah, I just name dropped Roger to get me clout to get into college," and Doof had a
Yeah.
wholesome reaction to that.
And mildly equal.
Well, and also independently of that being something that Vanessa could have recognized as being hurtful to her dad, Vanessa also is like way too anti-authority to just be like genuinely like, yeah, I like this politician man leading our town. Like she definitely was doing it for
Has
the
she ever
clout.
expressed like admiration for her uncle?
Yeah.
In the show?
I think early
Yeah,
on in
they've
the
hung
run,
out
in
and stuff.
the Goody Two Shoes brother pigeon poop episode, she was like, "I like Uncle Roger," and that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone does.
That
Roger's
is
kinda
insane
great,
ball
like,
knowledge.
I know he gets a lot of shit from Doof, but he's actually just a fine guy. Like, he's not.
He's
amazing, but
guy's
fine.
kind of annoying.
I don't know. I'm not a big Roger guy.
Roger is a big Roger guy. He's pretty cool.
I'd take him my president any day over the one you've got. So
Well, that's fair.
I would take him over the current guy too. But that's not saying
Our guy
much.
would never do the dance of contrition.
no, his
I'd
teeth
pay to
couldn't
see that.
bounce laser beams. We should probably talk about that. How
laser
shiny does
beams?
teeth have to be to bounce laser beams? Because in this episode,
Yeah.
he smiles and the laser beams just reflect off his teeth, which is
makes you wonder what
crazy.
what kind of work did he get done? Like what orthodontist did he go to?
I need to go to them.
Dangerous for sure. Fake, just like every other politician.
Yeah, they're fake.
Um,
They're fake. They have to.
I
be
want to
fake.
shout
And why
out.
whatever orthodontist he went to, the same material that he used on his own teeth was special enough to also use on his teeth on the billboard of him. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
true.
I mean, I'm not
It's-
complaining. It led to a very funny moment.
This is some Phineas and Ferb bullshit. I think they're making his teeth and making all his billboards for him. That
It's
sounds
the
like
other way
an
around. He's
invention
using
they could do.
billboard enamel on his teeth.
Oh, you're
Oh.
so
Wait, you cracked it.
right.
That's what his
I've
orthodontist
ca-
using.
I'm connecting so many dots this episode.
That's why he's always smiling and stuff. It's like holy.
I
And
look
people at the
forward to,
billboard
like-
company killed JFK.
I look forward to like if you guys do bring back your podcast like 10 episodes in, you'll just be all in on like the billboard enamel. Like that's all you've talked about for the last 7 episodes.
But that's why he's always like, for those of you at home who cannot see me, I'm having a forced smile because he can't close his mouth because like Joe said.
Yeah, because the enamel's holding his
enamel.
face open. Yeah.
Alex, what were you gonna say though before we kept going on billboard enamel?
Yeah, I want to shout out. David Arago Jr., who gave a performance of Jeremy as Doofenshmirtz and Ferb
Allegedly.
as Doofenshmirtz. Allegedly. He gave a Curse You Candace's sister as Ferb, and he also, allegedly, as Jeremy, did all the Jeremy lines and the Jeremy Doof lines. Which,
Yeah.
I gotta say, Jeremy, I think if I had to rank all of the voice actors as Doof performances, it's Phineas, then Linda, then Jeremy would be my
yeah,
top
that was a
three.
good one. Extra onions, extra
Extra
evil.
evil.
I like that after he puts an absurd amount of onions on it, Vanessa just eats it anyway and makes noises as though she's enjoying it.
And then it's like, I don't know what Candace sees in that guy. I like that line.
It felt very fitting because Ferb's line in the early episodes is usually one of the last lines of the episode, so it felt very fitting that he was the one to get the "curse you, Candace the sister"
Yeah,
line.
that's
I
good.
like that choice.
Yeah, no, actually, that is an excellent choice. That's very good.
If there's no other big things with this episode we want to point out, I want to really quickly point out things about incidental characters appearing that don't matter at all.
You're great at it.
Okay.
Go for it.
Let's go.
So I noticed that when they were walking into the park in this episode, we see Brittany, the girl from More Than an Intern, who is like a little bit mean, being walked with allegedly her dad, and also Pedro. Apparently they're siblings.
Oh my
Okay,
God,
you
they're
can hold
siblings.
your reaction, but more
No
more interesting than
way.
that. An incidental character appeared in this for, I think, the second time ever in the entire series, and it was none other than Josh from Phineas and Ferb
Josh.
Christmas Vacation, the one who says, "Come on, guys, let's sing, but it's Christmas, Becky." And his skin tone, like Pedro's, has gotten darker, so I don't know if it's the same guy, but it's the same guy.
And for those of you listening who might not be familiar with that joke, but it's Christmas, Becky, and you think, is that an actual song? Well, at the time that the episode was written, no, it was not. But MWCA took it upon themselves to make that an actual song.
Yeah, when we did a Christmas album almost 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
We decided to turn the non sequitur, non-existent song, but it's Christmas, Becky, referenced in Christmas Vacation into like a full 6-minute ballad written by me and Alex and Cadence.
Christmas is almost here, Becky, so why don't you give me one more chance?
So it's been a running joke among us as friends. And I would just like to say, congratulations, Josh, for some growth. He is seen in this episode with another woman. He is no longer hung up on Becky. We love the character development. Hopefully he's less insane towards this new woman.
This is some insane bull knowledge. I'm I don't know whether to be impressed or scared.
I'm blown away. I genuinely am. I thought I knew
Just like
Phineas and Ferb, and I am struggling to keep up with the references here. That is insane. What the hell? All the extras? I got to rewatch everything at one frame at a time now, just so I know what's
Andrew's always
happening.
bringing up Pedro. He's the only one.
You're always bringing up Wendy Stinglehopper.
Well, that's different.
But Wendy Stinglehopper hasn't appeared since her first appearance. What question?
Wait a second.
Judge
If
Joe
we have not
Lachlan.
seen Josh since Christmas Vacation, and now he's back, that means Wendy's got to be back soon too.
Wait a minute. Oh, you're so
For
right.
sure.
Joe and Lachlan, if we say the name Wendy Stinglehopper, does that ring any
Nothing.
bells for you?
Absolutely
Not a clue.
It didn't for
No,
Olivia
absolutely
Olson
not.
either. so
Yeah,
you're
Olivia
good.
Olson also didn't remember who Wendy Stinglehopper was. But do you remember in
These
the
are some
Christmas
deep
special, the
cuts.
girl who's like, I want a really big hat, and Baljeet brings her the hat, and she goes, my hat, and then kisses Baljeet.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, that's her.
I,
Right. Okay.
I wasn't remembering until you said kisses Bargy.
Yeah, he was all nervous.
Why is she named?
Because she was his love interest.
One of
Wendy's-
Baljeet's many love interests, yeah.
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 Crazy. Retribution for Wendy.
Well, now that Wendy's been mentioned again,
I want to see more of her.
I have, two other things I want to say.
Yeah.
One of them, right off the top of this episode, it's maybe my favorite bread bowl hot tub update we've got, because Buford suggests the bread bowl hot tub. Finally, it's time to build it. After it's been suggested so many times this season, and all the rest of the kids groan and moan, which
They say the word groan.
which I love that. I love it. I love it.
Groaned.
But I feel like this is another step towards confirming my theory that they actually don't want to build the bread bowl hot tub and have been looking for excuses not to. Now they seem to be actually expressing their displeasure with the idea.
No, I think it exactly confirms that. And I gotta say, I thought they were a little mean toward Buford in this episode. Because we even, in Meet Me in St. Louis, they were like, all right, we're gonna do it. So they should know that Buford would be frustrated they haven't done it by this point. And I feel like Phineas and Ferb are usually, their whole thing is let's make our friends happy. They don't hold that same empathy towards Buford for whatever reason. I'm starting to feel for the guy.
And he can't throw sticks at rocks.
Yeah, he was a bit sarcastic as well at the start.
Oh yeah, wait,
Which I
Joe
love,
and
but-
Lachlan, I know that y'all have only seen Tropey McTropeface, but are you aware of the bread bowl hot tub running gag this season?
Not at all.
I have seen a few more episodes with it in there.
Okay,
but you
awesome,
should
great.
catch Lachlan up for it. He has no idea what we're talking about.
I thought it would
Basically,
be
the
funnier
gist
if
is
I
that-
went in with just absolutely no idea what was going on.
The gist is that in a lot of episodes this season, Buford has suggested building a bread bowl hot tub, and it's either always shut down or plans change or they're gonna do it and then they forget or something happens. And
Yeah.
it's been going on for a while.
But there is an upcoming episode titled Bread Bowl Hot Tub, so we'll see what happens in that one.
I hope it doesn't happen. I actually think it doesn't. I think it is just diverting expectations. It's going to be just a normal episode, or it's going to be like one of those silly ones where it just follows one of the characters, one of the
The wheel god.
poker characters, yeah, for just a whole episode and has nothing to do
It's
with
been
Buford.
very
It's what
funny.
Rodney was up to while he wasn't at the soccer practice.
Rodney was building
Yeah,
a bread bowl hot
literally.
tub.
That's what Rodney was
And then it
doing.
shifted 8 inches to the left.
It'd be very funny if they did all of that build up, and then in just like the first minute of the episode titled "Bread Bowl Hut," they resolved the entire storyline, and then the episode was about something completely unrelated.
Yeah,
like they just
off-screen, they'll
like
do the
they
bread
build
bowl.
it and Buford sits in it and he's like, that wasn't that great, and then they just do something completely.
It'd be like, who wants to sit in a hot soup with their friends and drink it? Like, awful. It's a bad idea.
There,
No
there
wonder
is
they're
an
avoiding
episode
it.
of iCarly where Spencer builds a giant coffee cup and then fills it with coffee, and then at the end of the episode, they're all just sitting in it and they take a cup and like scoop it in and cheers each other and drink it. It's disgusting.
Oh my god. the
iCarly was such a
disease.
bizarre show with retrospect, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, even at the
I couldn't
time.
handle it. It was always crazy. It was always
Amen.
crazy.
Alex, and you want to bring up something else?
Yeah, the thing I wanted to bring up is Major Monogram and Perry at the end, and Francis basically being like, assuming that Hines was behind all the destruction, realizing he wasn't, and then going, what kind of evil mastermind would, not our problem, Monogram out. And apparently,
Yeah.
if someone's wreaking havoc, but they are not part of Love Muffin, it's completely irrelevant to Alka. They're not stepping out of their domain. I guess that's what we're
Yeah,
getting out
this
of this.
is a very good point. What is Alka's job if it isn't to stop like evil? Like it's they've got like a limit of who they look at, and if it's not them, they're just like, well, not our problem. I'm like, you still live in Danville. You're still getting ruined. People
Or
are
is it
having
like
unconsensual fun.
Mandatory fun.
Each agent has a specific bad guy they have to watch, and then if it doesn't fall under that list of bad guys, they're like, just leave it to the feds or to the cops or whatever.
Well, having been in proximity with people who work like government jobs, people seeing something that they could deal with, but is technically not part of their job and going, yeah, I'm absolutely not doing that, is 100% consistent with how the government operates.
Oh yeah,
Agree.
yeah. I found
100%.
it's completely believable. I just thought it was kind of. I think at most they could have gone with Monogram going like, what kind of evil mastermind would do, and then they can see, oh boy, it's Phineas and Ferb. I guess there's nothing you can do about that. Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, like they couldn't do it because of the host identity thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I was maybe hoping that would be like a turning point where like Perry now has agency to stop Phineas and Ferb, but for 11 minutes I think they did about as good a job as they could.
He
with this
doesn't have
episode.
the agency. Monogram has the agency. Waka waka. That's what I contribute to this show.
Yeah.
That's what you bring to the table.
Yeah, no. Alex brings structure, Andrew brings insight, and I bring an occasional pun. Which I'm
Yeah, I
very
bring
thankful that they-
insight.
No, but you're very structure based, and Alex, I appreciate you because I feel like without you, we'd be a little too off the rails. So thank you, and you do bring insight.
Yeah,
I
who
was
knows
just-
how long we'd be talking about JFK if I wasn't here.
Yeah,
I'd still be
this
on
is a
it.
completely different podcast from our guys. We don't have an Alex to keep us in check. We'll go everywhere and anywhere. It is such a mess.
It is
All right.
absolutely a mess, but we have confirmed where Phineas and Ferb get their funding from and made it canon, so I'm happy with it.
Where did Phineas and Ferb get their funding from? Is it the
The
milkshake bar?
milkshake bar.
Yeah.
On the moon.
Mhm.
On the moon by all the aliens. The aliency currency converts so well.
Passive income, baby.
Why didn't we try that?
Wait, what?
Making a milkshake bar in space?
Yeah, like that could help us with rent.
That's so true.
There's a lot of upstart
So true.
costs, which can be really difficult.
That's true.
It's a hard business to break into. You have to figure
Very
out the whole
competitive
space
as well.
travel, setting up the moon base. It's not cheap. It's
I'll
not really
I'll
worth
put it in
it.
ChatGPT. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, just ask
Yeah.
Elon. He'll be fine. He'll help you out there.
But no, I do want to give this episode another watch just after talking about it with y'all, and especially after Alex saying that this is like one of his favorites of all time. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, but I feel like the implications that we've discussed have made me kind of appreciate it a little bit more.
He said the
Yeah,
thing.
I was a little bit let down when I first watched it because I was like, this is going to be such a cool premise. They're going to get hit. And then it just kind of didn't hit how I wanted it to. But it's still fantastic, and everyone should watch Phineas and Ferb all the time. It is a good episode.
Sometimes it hits better the second time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
I feel like also the fact that I do think the sneak peek that we got was probably the funniest part of the episode. So I feel like people
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
were going into it kind of knowing that already. But I feel like if you can kind of take a look at the whole picture, that's, that's still part of it. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, Joe Lachlan, where can the people find ye selves?
Well, Australia and Italy, for one.
Yes, come on down to Wollongong.
All over the place.
Come say hi. That's where I currently reside. But actual plugging online, hit it up on Spotify. We've got all our previous episodes from, as you said, 4 years ago, which is terrifying to think about. I'm so old. I'm too
Some
old.
shocking audio quality and even more shocking theories that you'll have to listen to the show to hear.
And for
So true.
our listeners who didn't catch it, what was the name of your podcast again?
The implications of Phineas and Ferb.
Where we
Nice
discuss
and
the
easy.
implications of Phineas and Ferb.
Hell yeah.
I wish that wasn't our one-liner.
I'm so glad that you guys were able to join us today. It's, you don't always see podcasts hosted by a bunch of white guys. So really, we're setting a
think
new
we're
platform
doing-
here today.
Some God's work here with 5 white guys sitting in a Zoom call.
No, the
I-
wheel god is very happy right now.
There's so much diversity in this call. We're covering 4 different countries.
That is true,
They
actually.
all speak the same language.
That's so true.
They all came from the same place.
And I'm in Italy, which is infamously not white.
That's true. Zach's Italian too.
Yeah, so without us, no one else would be doing this work. It's truly incredible.
I will say your podcast, IOPAF, I actually listened to your podcast before I had ever even heard of NWCA. Like very soon after you started in like early 20, I think it was pre-COVID that you actually started.
Yeah,
Because
it
I
was.
feel like I remember going to school live and in person, listening to your podcast.
Did you just call it IOPAF? I guess that,
I
yeah,
did.
implications of Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah,
nice.
IOPAF.
Okay, IOPAF.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
I
I
coined. I
should
think that was
probably
you two.
be
I think that
better.
was you guys who
It's
called
a good
it
acronym. It's a cool acronym.
Yeah, thanks.
Imagine having one of those.
Sorry.
Anyway,
No, that's incredible. Thank you so much for listening. And it's very bizarre that it's been so long now. Hopefully we'll get you out of season 5 and you can listen to it on your way to whatever
Yeah.
you're doing now.
We are
Cannot
going to
wait.
make more. We're definitely going to make more. So watch out for that. Watch this space.
yeah, watch this space. Last thing before we sign off, I would like to plug a project that I'm currently doing. I've written a musical called Purple Stiltskin, and I'm putting on an abridged concert version on November 13th in Montreal. If you're in or near Montreal, come on by, buy a ticket. If you're not in or near Montreal, you can still help me out by donating to the Kickstarter that is going to help me pay the performers a little bit and get all kinds of other costs associated. So that would be cool. Maybe I'll ask Andrew to put the link to that in the description of this podcast.
Done.
Hell yeah.
And if you come to see the show, Andrew and I will be there as well. So
And Ben.
Feel free. And Ben.
I need plane tickets right now.
I can't wait to see you there.
I'm excited. But in the meantime,
Please leave us comments, review us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, rate the podcast 5 stars. If you like this, tell your friends. If you don't, tell your enemies.
comment the most ridiculous things you can think. Literally just comment anything. It helps, and also it's entertaining to us. It can be bad.
Yeah, we want our theories of JFK assassinations.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
everywhere.
Exactly.
Make sure you tag. We need the tag.
We
for
got
it.
some random comment on Apple Podcasts of someone being like, this episode would have been better if the Animaniacs were in it, and it was like really detailed, and I don't know where that came from, but thank you.
It's fun.
It's fun. I want the Animaniacs in my podcast. That would be fantastic. Yeah, that sounds like a great way to improve any podcast.
No, I think they were saying that the Animaniacs should have been in Phineas and Ferb.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
It's like, have you ever seen, what was that? It was like some kind of Tumblr post that went viral at some point. And I'm not even on Tumblr, but I saw it. So that's why I know it went viral. Where someone was like, I had a crazy dream last night. And someone else was like, were Phineas and Ferb in it? And they're like, no. And they're like, was Buford in it? And they're like, there were no Phineas and Ferb characters in my dream. On that note, I think it's time to wrap this puppy up with our closing
It's
remarks.
2 a.m. I'm
And
so
as we
tired.
say at the end of every episode of Afterferb, cloudy with a
chance of mom.
Every day's a good day when it's cloudy with a chance of mum. I can confirm that.
Hey, I know what we're gonna analyze. The episodes in season 5. Hope it brings you laughter.
Please, no, we cannot include that in the podcast.
This is After